guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby Monet of Shelby and the Book Club, and in so it has been about a week since y'all last saw me. Well, yeah, about a week, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't know. It's been a little while and a lot has happened. Shelby and the Bookstore has opened online so that you guys can shop the bookstore until, well, you'll always be able to shop the bookstore, but you'll be able to shop the bookstore online until we actually have a physical space and you guys can actually come in and hang out and shop in an actual store. So I've been busy trying to create a new routine for myself. Just, I don't know, like trying to be proud of myself. That's new. Trying to really sit back and realize that, like, I did what I said that I was going to do, which a lot of people have ideas, but not a lot of people actually go after the ideas that they have. They just stay ideas. And I've turned my love of books, into a book club that is now turned into an online bookstore. And I really had to sit back and take a moment to be proud of myself. Because at first I kind of just was like, oh, I'm opening a business. Everybody opens a business, but everybody doesn't open a business. I'm fortunate enough to have people in my circle that have businesses that are following their dreams and so on and so forth. So it's been an emotional roller coaster, a lot of tears of joy and of confusion and frustration. But overall, I'm super excited. So you can officially shop shelbyinthebookstore.com. Follow us on Instagram. We have a store update weekly. Every Friday there will be a shop update with new books added. Also sign up for the mailing list. I don't want you guys to miss anything as far as sales and so on and so forth. The last that I checked, we were at 80 sales, I believe. So once I reach my 100 sale mark, there will be like a 20% off sale or something else that I come up with. So I would sign up for the mailing list if I were you, so that you don't miss anything. You know, I hate when people be like, I didn't know that you had, and I didn't know that you were doing, and I didn't know, and I didn't know, and I didn't know, and I didn't know. Well, if you sign up for the mailing list, baby, there will never be an opportunity for you to say that you did not know something, because it'll be on the mailing list. Gunner says hi. Can I have this, please? Thank you, Bubs. So, another month of me not reading as much as I wanted to. But I am catching myself up, and I have started a new book this week. So I was reading the, Honey Butter Pig Bread, which I'm really enjoying, but I don't want it to end. Don't you bark at me. Don't do that. Thank you. I don't want it to end yet. Gunner, go get a ball. Go get something. Stop barking at me. I hear your granny coming to get you. Okay, like I was saying, because I'm not editing that out. We just gonna keep all of this in here. If my mama come in here talking, all of it is staying in the video. So, like I was saying, I was reading the Honey Butter Pig Bread, and it is really good, but it's like, it's a dense book, as in the writing is really deep, and it's very thought-provoking. And I'm just not ready for it to end yet. I'm slowly but surely reading through it. Not you moving the desk, Gunner. Sir, move your butt. Move your butt, please. I'm getting through it slowly but surely, but I don't want it to end yet. because it is really, really good. It's different. So I started something new because I was just like, if I keep holding on to that book, then I'm not gonna read anything else. But then also I had a cold last week, so I did a lot of sleeping too because I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't do much reading then either, because of that. So this week I started Dear Miss Metropolitan by Carolyn Farrell. This is a mystery thriller type situation. So the synopsis says, Fern seeks refuge from her mother's pill popping and boyfriends via Soul Train. Gwen finds salvation in the music of Prince, much to her congregation's dismay, and Jasenia, miles ahead of her classmates in her gifted and talented high school, is a brainy, precocious enigma. None of this matters to Boss Man, who abducts them and holds them captive in a dilapidated house in Queens. Only 2 of the victim girls are found when they are rescued. On that night, throngs line the block, gawking and claiming ignorance. Among them is lifelong resident Miss Metropolitan, advice columnist for the local weekly. But how could anyone who fancies herself as a newspaper woman have missed a horror story unfolding in her own neighborhood? The mystery surrounding the fate of the 3rd girl and the fragmented existence of the survivors stand at the pulsing center of this literary page-turner. Carolyn Farrell's extraordinary and original novel explores the intersections of grief and rage, personal strength and healing, and what we owe one another. So far I'm about like 20 pages in, and I really, really enjoy it. It starts with Fern, who is one of the victim girls, and she's kind of talking about her life leading up to her abduction. So it's giving me, have you guys read Push by Sapphire? It is the book that the movie Precious was based on. Now, I have a sick sense of humor. I think the movie Precious is a comedy. But the book was a very, very hard read. I feel like the first time that I read it, I was like 13, and my mother was like, I don't know if you want to read that. But I read it anyway, and it was very, 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 very life-changing for me because it touched on a lot of very mature topics of abuse and what that looks like in a Black household, and also how abuse affects not only the person that is being abused, but their family and the people around them. Like, it is, abuse is not, I want to say linear, but I feel like that's also not the word that I'm looking for. But it's a decent word to use. It's not linear. It doesn't just go in one direction. And it also, like, the ramifications of abuse also affect, not only the person and the people around them, but their children and generations to come after them. So it's very complicated, and that is why I'm such an advocate for therapy. Anyway, the reason that I say that is because this book, Fern is talking about her life the same way that Precious does in Push. The only difference is in Push, it is Gunner is a troll because he was in here quiet. Do you hear me? Not a peep. You would not have known there was an animal in this house. But in Push, the main character has some learning issues. So the book is written in a way where as she grows and as she goes to school and her she learns more, her writing gets better, so on and so forth. So I'm curious to see where this book goes. That is what I'm currently reading. So the next few things I'm going to show you are a few books that I just recently added to the shop that I want to read, but I didn't know that these books was going to be this big. And I know I'm always talking about some diversify your reading, but I mean, and that means book length too. But I guess I'm gonna have to get through it. So the first one is, well, the first two are by the same author, and they are a part of a trilogy. But what fascinated me with these is the synopsis says that it's like Game of Thrones meets Gladiator in The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I really like this new camera, y'all. Oh, did I tell y'all that? I got a new camera. Do y'all see how it's just picking up my book all fast? And I don't have to, you know, I like that. I like that Shrek. That's a nice boulder. But yeah, so when it said Game of Thrones meets Gladiator, I was like, oh, this has my name written all over it, because in this household, my mother can attest, we are Game of Thrones fans. Now, I've listened to most of the Game of Thrones books. Have you? My mom has not. And they are very good. But we are big Game of Thrones fans. And what made this even better was that, Gunnar, please cut it out. It's by a Black author. So that made me want to buy them even more. You don't have to stay out here.
Sure.
That made me want them even more. So I'm very curious about these. I just added them to the shop on Friday. So if you are a sci-fi fantasy lover, then these are probably for you. So if I were you, I would check them out. So it is The Rage of Dragons is the first one. And then the second one is The Fire's Vengeance. Okay. So, like I said, I think they're going to be really good. I've heard super good things about them. And I'm like surprised that I haven't heard more about it sooner. I kind of was just adding different things to the site and kind of looking through some things, and I found it, and I was just like, why haven't I heard about this? Like, why? I know a few people that are fans of fantasy, sci-fi type things, and big Game of Thrones fans, and they hadn't mentioned this author or these books to me before. So I'm glad I found them. Next, we have In Every Mirror She's Black. So y'all know how I feel about books having Black women on the cover. I have to have them. But when I read the synopsis of this one, I just had to have it. So it says, successful marketing executive Kimi Adeyemi is lured from the U.S. to Sweden by Johnny von Luden, CEO of the nation's largest marketing firm, to help fix a PR fiasco involving a racially tone-deaf campaign. A killer at work, but a failure in love, Kimi's move is the last-ditch effort to reclaim her social life. A chance meeting with Johnny in business class en route to the U.S. propels former model turned flight attendant Brittany Ray Johnson into a life of wealth, luxury, and privilege. A life she's not sure she wants, as the object of his unhealthy obsession. And refugee Muna Saheed, who lost her entire family, finds a job cleaning toilets at Johnny's office as she works to establish her residency in Sweden, and more importantly seeks connection in a place she can call home. Told through the perspectives of each of the three women, In Every Mirror She's Black is a fast-paced, richly nuanced, contemporary social novel that explores the deepest depths of what it means to be a Black woman navigating a white-dominated society. So I was just like, oh yeah, I totally have to read this. I'm thinking about putting it on my TBR for September. So yeah, look out for a review of this to see. This is up on the website. It doesn't release until September 4th, I believe. So if you order it now, you may not get it within the next few days. You'll get it on the day of the release date. So those are some books that are, the next few books I'm going to show you are also on the website. But these were some that I went and got from a local bookstore to me when I was kind of stressed out and going through the motions of, I'm going to be a bookstore owner. I'm going to be a bookstore owner. I'm going to be a bookstore owner. So my happy place is in a bookstore. So I went shopping and got some books. This one I may have showed you guys. I don't remember, but this is the Book of Harlan. Because of the light, it's not really picking up. Is that a little better? The Book of Harlan by Bernice McFadden. So I'm trying to think, where did I talk about this at? Maybe on the Instagram page? I don't know. Anyway, I've been wanting to read McFadden's work for a long time. Her very first novel is called Sugar, and it is, everyone that I know that has read Sugar is absolutely in love with the book. So when I saw this, I'm not necessarily a fan of historical fiction because I feel like it can be a bit boring. But what intrigued me about this is it says, during World War II, 2 American jazz musicians are captured by the Nazis in Paris. And the first thing that came to mind is, there are a lot of things about history that we just do not know. So what I mean by that is, what we know about World War II is about the concentration camps, about all that happened to the Jews and how the Nazis, it was a horrendous genocide. What we don't know or what we don't hear much about are the other people that were affected by the genocide as well. So as you guys saw, there is a black man on the cover of this. So the synopsis says, the Book of Harlan opens up with the courtship of Harlan's parents and his 1917 birth in Macon, Georgia, which, never mind. After his prominent minister grandfather dies, Harlan and his parents move to Harlem, where he eventually becomes a professional musician. When Harlan and his best friend, trumpeter Lizard Robbins, are invited to perform at a popular cabaret in the Parisian enclave of Montmartre, affectionately referred to as the Harlem of Paris by Black American musicians, Harlan jumps at the opportunity, convincing Lizard to join him. But after the City of Light falls under Nazi occupation, Harlan and Lizard are thrown into Buchenwald, the notorious concentration camp in Weimar, Germany, irreparably changing the course of Harlan's life. Based on exhaustive research and told in McFadden's mesmeric prose, the Book of Harlan skillfully blends the stories of McFadden's familiar ancestors with those of real and imagined characters. So I really want to read this because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that you never learn about. And I feel like fiction is a really good way to bridge the gap between reading for entertainment but also learning something. I feel like a lot of times, because these characters are fictional, it doesn't necessarily mean that the things that they went through are also fictional too. These things could have happened to people, so on and so forth. So it was really it was really I'm really intrigued. I want to read a lot more of her books. So that is like at the top of the list on my TBR. The next book I got, it is called Hollow. Just by looking at this, can y'all guess why I bought it? Can you tell? Can you tell? Can you tell why I bought this? Can you tell? Can you tell? Okay, you had enough time to guess. If your answer was the cover art, then you are absolutely right. I think the cover of this book is absolutely beautiful. Is that a little bit better? It is. It's a little bit better. I think it is absolutely beautiful. And I didn't really read the synopsis. I just saw the cover art and thought about how beautiful it is. Why are you whining, Bubs? Boop. He's so aggravated with me. So it says, after the sudden death of the High Church's sacred oracle, the world spirals deeper into bedlam. Evil forces envelop the countryside, and the line between life and the afterlife begins to blur, and a series of strange mysteries unfold. A young monk has ecstatic visions and loses his ability to speak. An underground revolution is sparked in a small village with a woman called Dalgret at the helm, and Barry Follett, a mercenary, leads his gang of marauders. I've never heard that word before. Across a treacherous terrain filled with giants and dangerous sirens to deliver the one thing that can restore order to the divine landscape. As reality bends, a series of brutal adventures illuminates the nature of fate, and beauty and doom alike. Rich with action and fantastic creatures, Hollow ushers the reader through a world where holy secrets are unearthed, art mirrors life, and death looms over everything. So it sounds really interesting. Gunner, can I have the ball, please? Can I have the ball, please? Can I have it, please? Thank you. Can I have it? No. Okay. So yeah, Hollow sounds really, really interesting. I believe it's a fantasy. This one, by the time you see this, this will be up on the Bookstore if you are interested in purchasing it. It is considered a fantasy. But again, I love really good cover art. Like, super good. And then last but not least, we have What Strange Paradise by Omar El Akkad. Omar El Akkad. So this one, you know, I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, right? But, you know, tiny books like this that are less than 300 pages, usually less than like 250 pages, usually are what I like to call the like the hard hitters, right? Because you only have yeah, it's only 235 pages. So books like this usually are the hard hitters. Like, for example, The Death of Vivek Oji, a book less than 250 pages, if I remember correctly, definitely less than 300 pages, fast-paced, but covers a lot of very important topics, and literally punches you in your throat. So when I see these little tiny books, and when I say tiny, like, look at it compared to Dear Miss Metropolitan, it's a little itty bitty book, as you all can see, just little itty bitty. Usually when I see books like this, I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely have to have that, because I just know this book is going to give me my life and then some. So the synopsis for this one, it says, more bodies have washed up on the shores of a small island. Another overfilled, ill-equipped, dilapidated ship has sunk under the weight of too many passengers. Syrians, Ethiopians, Egyptians, Lebanese, Palestinians, all of them desperate to escape untenable lives back in their homelands. But miraculously, someone has survived the passage. 9-year-old Amir, a Syrian boy, who is soon rescued by Vanna. Vanna is a teenage girl who, despite being native to the island, experiences her own sense of homelessness in a place and among people she has come to disdain. And though Vanna and Amir are complete strangers, though they don't speak a common language, Vanna is determined to do whatever it takes to save the boy. So in alternating chapters, we learn about Amir's life and how he came to be on the boat, and we follow him and Vanna as they make their way toward safety. What Strange Paradise is a story of two children navigating a hostile world, but it is also a story of empathy and indifference, of hope, despair, and about the way each of those things can blind us to reality. So, was this not focused on my face at all the whole time? My bad. I told y'all this video was gonna be different. So yeah, this sounds like it's gonna be a good one. Very much probably going to be a tearjerker. Again, it is called What Strange Paradise by Omar El Akkad. And this is up on the site right now if you guys are interested in reading it. So that's all the books that I have for right now. All of them can be purchased from shelbyandthebookstore.com. And that is all I have for you. That's really it book wise. I mean, I caught you guys up on my life. Like I said, I was sick. The bookstore was open. A lot has changed really rapidly. And it has taught me a lot about, one, needing to rest, two, taking a leap of faith and just believing that things are going to work out. My friend Alan, who is the big brother that I always wanted. This is actually the t-shirt that I have on is from his podcast, his business, Learn Life. I will put the link for his merch if you guys want to go support. I appreciate you. He appreciates you as well. I think I'm confident enough that I can say that on his behalf. But some of the proceeds from his shirt sales are going to go to Haiti to help them out. But something that he said to me was, the only option is for things to go in your favor. Know that things are going to work out for you. And he always tells me to be open to change, but just know that whatever the changes are, they are going to work in your favor. You are going to be successful. That is the only option. There are no secondary plans. There are no what ifs. There is none of that. You are going to be successful. So that is how I have been getting myself through this time right now, just knowing that the only option is my success. God has never played me, and I highly doubt he is going to start doing that today. So I hope that that is a word that speaks to you. Definitely go listen to my friend's podcast. Buy a t-shirt if you can. There are hoodies on there. Something else that he says all the time, how he ends his podcast, is the light at the end of the tunnel is you. So go support my friend. Go support my friend right now. But with that said, and since Gunner is moving the table again, if no one has told you today, I love you. I am going to go make dinner for my mother because she requested it. And that is it. If no one has told you today, I love you. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.